much would welcome people's input into that document. Now to Ken. Ken is one of the best-known politicians, I think it's easy to say, within London, possibly nationally. I think there are probably two politicians who get very strong name recognition. I won't say who the other one is, but it's sometimes one thinks it's almost a conspiracy between the two of them to promote each other. But Ken is extremely well known. Ken was the leader of the GLC in the early 1980s, and so got up the nose of the then Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher that she abolished it. And it took quite a long time for London government to come back in the form of the GLA and the Mayor of London. Ken was for many years MP for Brent East. In that capacity, he was a regular attendee of the annual Paul Sion barbecues in John Labour's garden, and has always enjoyed eating with Jewish comrades. He was, of course, the first Mayor of London and served 2 terms, during which time London won the Olympics. Of course, Ken has never been afraid of speaking his mind, courting controversy, arousing strong feelings, and so on. And of course, within the Jewish community, there are strong views as well. Over the years, there has evolved, if you want, you can call it a narrative, various issues or events or incidents that have occurred, and Ken has addressed them himself at some length, both in the Jewish Chronicle and in Jewish News. No doubt, though, some of those points will be touched on today, although we do want to also focus on some of the bread and butter issues that face London, Jewish Londoners as well. Just to offer a few of my own observations, when Ken was Mayor of London, he and his office were always very accessible and helpful. Just to give a few examples, there was the census report, and there's always been, not entirely surprisingly, some sensitivities around Jewish demographics. They sort of believe right up into they change from week to week, but there is the issue of people who don't disclose that they're Jewish for various reasons on the form. Also, of course, Jews think of themselves in various different ways, and there are certain rigidities in the census form. So one of the things that Ken's office did with us was to work through those sensitivities and make sure they were covered in the report. Rise Against Racism was a long-standing annual festival against racism, and one of the steps that was taken to enable the Jewish community to participate was to actually move the festival from Saturday to Sunday to allow observant Jews to participate in it. And indeed, one of the keynote speeches was given to Rebel Jan on that occasion. There was one slight concern, which is that it fell into 3 weeks, and we were actually asked about that. It wasn't during the 9 days. We kind of reached a bit of a compromise there. I don't know if Ken's ever forgiven me, but because it was moved from the Saturday to the Sunday, which was Swithin's Day, it absolutely poured with rain. I don't think there was a drought that year either, so we were absolutely drenched. Anyway, I think it was a good thing for the environment that happened. Ken's office was also very helpful in organising the Salute to Israel parade. While he was mayor, which was before the parade actually happened, a lot of the logistics had to be sorted, and they were very felicitous in enabling all of that to happen. Ken has also spoken out against the academic boycott, did so on the eve of the debate at the UCU, where the academic boycott was being presented, and most recently has spoken out against any notion of cultural boycott around the London Olympics. Ken does raise strong feelings, he does have very trenchant views. Sometimes those views are also misunderstood, and obviously he's here today to explain what he does think about things. One thing that's for sure, Ken is always in the room and he's always ready to debate. There was some coverage of a meeting that happened a month or so ago in Ivy House with Jewish labour activists. Ken was very pleased to have that engagement and to kick around issues in a full and free and frank exchange of views. Regardless of views on Israel, Ken has always enjoyed drinking Israeli wine. Henry Grunwald, who was then president of the board, Vivian's predecessor, and I visited Ken in his office, and he first thing he did was to produce a bottle of Israeli wine for us to share over the discussion about various issues of Jewish concern. There's been some reports about a speech that Ken gave where he referred to London becoming a beacon of Islam. Of course, we should all welcome more light to the capital, and in this vein, Ken was behind Hanukkah in the square, which is, and the large, I believe, no one has yet contradicted me, the largest Hanukkah in the world, that he commissioned whilst mayor, which of course has brought 8 beacons of Jewish light to the capital.